Kevin Samuels used to say to the women who would call in, rate yourself on the scale 1 to 10, you can't use 7. Now, I'd be watching this, I'd be in awe, right? And I would be thinking to myself, like, why would you do that to yourself? But I'm starting to think it was a part of the game. Like, I'm starting to think it was a part of the code, right? Because then you can't say that he gave you that number because you gave yourself that number. But at the same time, as an image consultant, he could give you what his rating was, or he would react based off of his professional expertise. And I've been thinking about that for a long time. I'm like, okay, here's the deal. For women who wouldn't dare, because I see it as a game, right? I wouldn't dare play that game. I wouldn't dare do it because the reason why these women were calling was because they were talking about what kind of man they wanted, right? The game is already busted from the start. The reason why the game is busted is because, okay, I don't mean to get churchy, but the man who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? So the man who finds this woman and say, this is, going to be my wife, he's the one who gives her the rating. This is my thing. That's the trick. The whole time these women are talking about finding a man, there are actually men looking to marry them. It's just a matter of them being prepared for marriage, right? So going back on this whole, rate yourself 1 to 10, you can't use 7. If I were to do it, I would say I'm a 1. Let me explain. This is going to be a little egotistical, but the way that my mind works is at the end of the day, I'm the one who I have to deal with. How could I sit here and rate myself based off of how desirable I am to a guy who does not exist, right? Like this fantasy guy that has everything that I want in life. And most women, they tend to want the same thing. They want a nice looking guy with good finances and all that good stuff, right? Granted, we all want the best. And then you got like, take the women that are like, I want to be either I'm going to go, I'm a 6, or I'm going to go, I'm an 8. Now, here's the problem with that game. For the 6s, they get to play alongside of being close to average, right? Which goes back into this whole the hit video average at best. Plays right into the algorithm, right? Or they go, I'm an 8. And this is when you go into the lion's den, because once you get closer to 10, 10 is perfection and scrutiny rises, right? And there are so many people in the audience who are just waiting to go off on you. So you either go 6 and you're close to the viral video average at best, or you go to 8 and now everybody's like, oh, who does she think she is? Especially some of these guys who are like anti-woman anyway, these ultra red pill guys, they can't wait to jump on a chick. So this is what my thought is. The reason why I look at 1 is because, I just feel like, who am I to rate who I am to someone who doesn't exist? Like, the whole process is kind of whack-a-mole. Like, for me to say, according to me, I'm a certain number, the only number I can relate to is a 1. Um, and it's kind of like I've had good days. This is just me rating my days, right? This might sound a little delusional, but try to follow me here. I've had days where they were so good, and I was like, oh, I'll give it about a 9.5. Or times when I wasn't doing so great, and I was like, I'm kind of at a 4, right? And then I've had some days that I just felt like, yo, I was a 1. Like, I ain't feel good, or I wasn't happy, or I could have done this better, or I could have wore this, or I had, you got one of them days where you got something on your face. You don't realize you got something on your face and you just been talking to everybody. But I don't know. For me personally, I know it might sound bizarre, but I'm thinking I'm the one every day, all the time. And I know, like, okay, so when I was single, I already knew, like, eventually I was going to meet someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. So I'm like, if I can deal with myself when I look at myself as a level one, if I could be honest with myself when I'm at my absolute worst, then I can be someone who's suitable for someone who would take me on for the rest of my life, right? It might be weird logic, but I honestly feel like if women can examine themselves when they're at a level one, then they can be, I don't know, more compatible for who they perceive to be a 10. But that's just a thought. I don't know. It's kind of corny when I think about it, but whatever. That's just how I feel.